Thanks. Can I just get a maybe audio, video? Okay, seeing the screen all right? What we have out there, good. Appreciate that. Thanks, Patrick. Again, Jeff Stout, the practice manager here at Oasis. I've been at Oasis about 6.5 years now. I've been in the ERP space a lot longer than that. Actually started in ERP in 1996. And if you are looking at my picture here and my video, you're wondering how could that have happened when he started, maybe when he was only 11 or 12 years old. That is about the time that I started. So, uh, so yeah. So, I want to talk a little bit about kind of the continuing theme here of AI and what Sage's strategy is with AI and their Copilot product. And I'm going to go through this with a few slides at the start here, just so that we can all kind of get an alignment of what their strategy and their vision is. And then I'm going to get into the application and we'll show a few things that are available right now to users as far as AI is concerned. I like to put this first slide up here, the Sage, their vision. And this is what drives, these are kind of the main tenets that drive their AI direction. Okay. If any of y'all have been lucky enough to go to one of the Sage customer conferences, you've probably heard Aaron Harris, their CTO, speak. And Aaron Harris is big in the AI space and leads the AI charge at Sage. And this is something that he talks a lot about. And so what does this really mean? I mean, if we think about accountants, I mean, we've for our history, and I am an accountant by trade, and in our history, we've been locked into different cycles in accounting. So those cycles are things like a monthly close. That cycle may be an annual audit. Cycle may be a quarterly tax filing, maybe an inventory cycle count. Whatever it is, but we're locked into different cycles. And what happens is those lead to really kind of like that point in time, after the fact, maybe visibility to your information. So if we take a look at this, the vision of Sage and with Sage Intacct is a continuous process, continuous accounting. So what does that mean? Well, eliminate the close. Okay, that there's a close process happening all the time. There's continuing assurance that might mean eliminating an audit. I don't know that we'll ever eliminate audits, but it's always making sure that our information is accurate and we're in compliance. And then a continuous process of insights that the information that we're looking at is always up to date. Okay, so that we can make informed and real-time decisions on the information that we're looking at. So I think it's important to kind of keep this in mind if we think about what the strategy behind Sage is with their AI approach. And so what does this lead to? Well, it leads to four things, four kind of building blocks, if you will. One I've kind of already mentioned is one, that smoother, faster close. Okay, that continuous accounting process, the ability to spot opportunities and problems early, right? So we want to have continuous access to good information that's going to be able to provide us real-time data, boost efficiency and save time, the functionality that allows us to do some of that. And then the ability to get instant answers. Again, that real-time decision-making. So how does that play out? Okay. There's certain tools, if you will, that have been developed and implemented within Sage Intacct that lead to each of these pieces. So smoother, faster close. Sage has released their close automation piece. Close automation is available right now in Sage Intacct. Okay. There's additional functionality being developed for close automation that's coming out in phase releases, but the initial release of close automation is available today. All right. The building block of boosting efficiency and saving time, there's automation tools like AP automation, intelligent time if you're using the Sage time and expense functionality, different levels of automation that are going to take away some of the manual work that your team is doing and automate that functionality. The ability to spot opportunities and problems earlier. Some of this information, again, is already available right now. Outlier detection that does a 2-year look back on your data and will tell you proactively if it sees issues, maybe an account's out of whack, right? Something doesn't look right, it's gonna proactively tell you that information. Some of the things that are upcoming, some of the cash predictions, short-term cash flow models, liquidity models that you'll see that they're planning. And then the ability to get instant answers. Right now, the Sage Copilot help is available in Intacct. I'll show that to you. Maybe some of y'all have already used that. That's being enhanced to more of an advanced search, because the initial search help is only for the for product help in the system, right? So how do I do this, or how can I get answers on working with the product? Where the advanced search is gonna be more where you can take a look at your financial data. Okay, ask questions about the data in the system, not just the product, and how to answers on that. So what is close automation? So the close automation piece, and again, we'll take a look at this so it'll make a little more sense. We've got a nice little graphic there on the right-hand side, but it's going to be a way to automate, maybe create a little bit more structure, around our close process. Provide information like in one spot for you. I think when I talk about close with a lot of folks, a lot of people, and it's really across the gamut. Some of my customers or prospects, when we talk to them, say they close in, 1 week, 7 days, something like that. I've got others that say, oh, it's at least 14, 15 days. Others say, man, it might be the end of the month, into the following month before we're able to close. And that close is being managed differently, maybe with spreadsheets, different checklists, maybe emails to other team members to find out if they've got their information done yet before the system can get closed. The close automation piece kind of brings all that together for us in one spot. Okay. So the pieces that are available, and then some that are upcoming, you'll see here, variance analysis. This is available today in close automation. We'll take a look at this. And I do want to make sure I say when it's available today, this functionality is subscribed functionality. So it's not like it's just turned on in your system. It is something that would have to be subscribed to, and is purchased functionality within the application. So keep that in mind as we go through this. I'll try to make the distinction. The Copilot help is not, it's just there, but some of the close automation pieces and things we're talking about is subscribed functionality. Okay. So variance analysis, it's going to allow us to detect variances between actual and budget. So if you're as the controller or CFO, you're looking at that, or maybe you have department managers that are responsible for a budget, they'll be able to see that information kind of whenever they want. Right? It's not waiting until the end of the month till the financials are published that they have to look at their variances and then kick back to the accounting department and say, hey, this expense was booked wrong. Let's go in and reclass it, right? So that it doesn't ding my budget, right? So that variance analysis is going to give people a little bit of a quicker access to their information. The close assistant, that's going to kind of give us that visual view. You saw that on the previous screen, and we'll see it in Intacct, that visual view of where we are in the close process, okay, of what steps we need to take. Subledger reconciliation assistant that's going to notice, hey, there's something out of whack between the AR agent and the general ledger, the AP and the general ledger, and point you in directions to go take a look at that so that you can manage that information. And then some of the things that's coming in a little bit more in the future, checklist notifications, visibility, collaboration. These are things that Sage is doing to put together more of a closed workspace where things can be, tasks can be assigned, collaboration can be done, one screen where you can see where all tasks are being completed from the closed process. So again, I dug into a little bit of this, but that variance analysis is going to allow me to go in and take a look at variances between my actual and my budget, okay, and keep up to date with that, hopefully before a month-end process does come around and financials are being generated. And then again, that close assistant, we'll take a look here where that it's going to provide, this is a great little visual, but we'll see this in Intacct, where it's going to provide a great little visual of what information has been closed, what information still needs to be closed, what areas needs addressed during the actual close process. And then the subledger reconciliation is going to drill into the reconciliation reports. If it determines that there's a difference between hey, a subledger value and your general ledger value, it's going to prompt you on that and then drill back into the reports so that you can go ahead and work on getting that information resolved. And then kind of look, some of the things that they're showing for the future are pretty exciting. The closed workspace, which we have a nice little graphic here. The closed workspace is actually an early adopter process right now. The early adopter is closed, so you couldn't join in on it. But it's an early adopter right now and is set to be released. I'm thinking maybe this quarter or maybe the first quarter of 2026. But again, an area where that we're going to bring a lot of this closed information together, right, in one screen rather than in that one little, snapshot that I showed you, but in one screen so that we can assign tasks, we can keep track of progress on information. Okay, and so that's going to include some nice little dashboards to give us a little bit better visibility into the data in Sage Intacct and into that close process. Okay. Now I'm going to take here real quick. Give me just a sec. I'm going to minimize this, and we're going to go into Intacct so I can show a few things that are available, that are available now, so you can kind of see instead of what we have on slides, we'll see it within the application. Okay. So the first thing that I want to point out, I talked about Sage Copilot. You will see that I have Copilot here on my menu bar. That is subscribed functionality. I am running this in a demo company that we have here, a sales demo company. So I have this subscribed in our demo environment. But I mentioned the Copilot help, and that's where I'm going to start. So if we come over here to help and support, you'll see that I have search help in Copilot right here. Okay. And again, this is available to you all right now. Okay. You probably have access to this. Not sure if you've used it, but what does the Copilot help do? Again, this is product specific help currently. The advanced search capabilities that will be forthcoming is going to allow us to do search help on our data that's in the system. But right now it's limited to product help, but it's natural language search. So if I open that up, it's going to prompt me, and this may be similar if you've used Microsoft Copilot or any other Copilot tools. Hey, welcome to search. What would you like to learn about next? Maybe I want to know how do I set up a vendor, right? I can ask how to set up a vendor, okay? And you'll see it's processing here, and it will come up here in a few seconds, and with information on how that I need to set up a vendor, okay, and walk me through that process, give me links to other help. I could have different items, why is my balance sheet not balancing? Something common sometimes we hear. We could ask these types of questions. But again, the point is that we're able to ask natural language search type questions, okay, to Copilot, and it can come back with that information for us. Okay. So if we think about where this functionality would go in the future, this is nice for help within the application. But when we can dig into our data, how nice is that going to be when we can say, hey, show me all customers that have an overdue balance 60 days out. Now, that's something I could put on a dashboard, or I could run a report and see that, but I could also just go in and ask the system and have it generate that information for me as well, right? Okay, so again, the Copilot information, the Copilot help is something that is available right now. All right, so let me close that down and let's go up to Copilot here. Okay, so the Copilot that we have here is our variance analysis and our close assistant. Okay, so if I take a look at this, I'm going to jump down here real quick to the close assistant. I'll start at the bottom, and then I'm going to kind of work my way up. So if I go into the close assistant, I can come in and say, look at that, our server might be down. Let's try that again. Don't know why that came up. But the close assistant is going to walk me through a process of closing my books. Okay. Now, you'll see that in my demo system here, I've got books closed through January 2018. Hopefully your books are not that far back, but this is demo data. So I've got a lot of unclosed periods here. So it's going to recognize what you've closed the books through and say, hey, what period are we closing now? So I'm going to go in and I'm going to say, I'm going to close February of 2018. And I'll say, okay to that. And so it's going to take a look at the closed status and tell me things that I need to do and some things that I need to be aware of. Okay. And you'll notice some of these items have little like exclamation points beside them. Okay. So under accounts payable, it says, hey, you need to review unposted bills, right? There's a little icon there that's telling me there's some issue potentially with that. I also need to close the AP system. There's nothing really on AR. I can go in and click on those things, and kind of the same thing as I go down to the different areas of the system. So I could open this up and say, well, let's look at the unposted bills, and there's a bill out there. So maybe if you're doing some approval process or something in the system, or people manually entering things in and things aren't closed, you'll have visibility into that information. The system is going to provide you visibility into that. Okay. Same way, like if I want to take a look at unposted journal entries, right? I could go out if I've got some, monthly entries that I run, for allocations or depreciation or something like that out there. I could take a look at those unposted entries, right? But again, more of a step-by-step streamlined process to help through that close. Now, again, in the future, okay, this information is going to be transferred into that close workspace that's going to allow me to assign tasks, to provide, to see what people are doing, to see status of some of these items as they complete the process. Now, there's also a subledger reconciliation piece here, and so let's take a look at that. I'm going to show this in AR because I have less data, so it should run a little bit quicker. I'm going to take a look at my AR reconciliation, and I am going to drill into one particular location here. I could run this across all of my entities, but I'm going to dig into one and apply that filter. And so that's going to process my AR reconciliation. And you'll see here it says that it's going to prepare that reconciliation. Once it's completed, I'm going to see that up here in my insights. Okay. Now this does take a little bit to run, maybe 30, 40 seconds for this to process before it generates. But again, and I did filter this down to one particular entity that it's going to process. But the reconciliation that's coming out is going to show me any differences that it finds between my AR balance on the general ledger and then my subledger balance, and then let me drill into some of the reports. Also provide me some feedback on what might be causing those issues. So you'll see now up here in my insights, I have that, and it says there was a variance detected, and I can view that information and see that I do have a variance, okay, between my GL balance and my AR balance. Okay, I could click on that variance. I could run the AR subledger reconciliation report. That's going to take me right to the reconciliation report to start digging in and finding out what the issue may be with my AR reconciliation. Huh. Okay, so it's gonna run here in the and show up in the insights, but that'll take me right to the reconciliation report in Sage Intacct. Okay, so that is the close assistant with the variance, with at least the close assistant through the reconciliation process. Okay, and let's go ahead and open up that reconciliation report. And we'll open that right here. Okay, so we can see where the information that we need to take a look at for our reconciliation. All right, now when we go down to a new chat, let's take a look at the variance analysis process. Okay, the budget variance analysis. And so if I come up here to the top item and say show budget variance analysis, Copilot's going to process, and it's going to come up here with my budget variance. Now, the Sage Intacct Copilot, when you subscribe to it, there is a little bit of setup. It's really one screen to set up, but let me explain some of the things you can set up when you do that, and it's around variance analysis. If you have department managers that are responsible for departments, or if you have folks that are responsible for locations set up, you can set it up where that they see their information. So I'm going to scroll up here. Emma, I have her set up to look at location 300. So when I open this up, it's showing location 300, right? So there are a few different setup options that you can do, but the Sage Copilot, variance analysis, all this is really made to be used fine by an end user, right? Without assistance from a consultant, right? It's pretty easy, pretty simple process to use. But so you'll see here, and again, some other things you set up. You do set up the account groups that you want to measure against. So I've got a revenue account group, my operating expenses, and my net income, net income here. So you can see the variance that it shows me, where it's got my actual information, budget information, and then variance. I don't have a revenue budget, but then my operating expenses is and my year-to-date amount. I could drill into this amount to see what's behind it. There's some things down here at the bottom I can do, right? Maybe I can say describe the variance, because these are account groups here. But if I say describe the variance, the system's going to come back and tell me where some of those variance amounts come from. So in textual format. So it's going to tell me that, my revenue is way over budget because I don't have budget for my revenue. But even though that my expenses are okay, I can see maybe that, I've got some different information down here. Bank charges, repair, and maintenance exceeded their budget. So maybe that's an area that I need to look at. Now, again, this is information you could find on your own if you ran the report and you drilled into it and you scrolled through each account and account group and open account groups to see where information was. But the system is prompting you, system is prompting you for that information right here. Okay, so just something that's going to make it a little bit more efficient as we go through the process. Now, again, some other things I could do here. I could run a prior period. I could view the financial report. Again, I could drill into information if I wanted to here as well. That would bring up, the dimension balances report to show me, where some of this information is from my actual to budget. So I have that ability then to drill in and dig into the information within Sage Intacct. All right. So what do we take a look at? Let's kind of wrap up here as my time's coming down. Took a look a little bit at the vision of what Sage Intacct has for AI. Okay, what's kind of leading their charge and their charter in AI, and then some of the functionality that they have currently available with their Sage Copilot and the Copilot Help, and also the Close Assistant, and then again some of the things that they're coming out with in the future. Okay, look, if you guys are interested in any of the functionality that you've seen, we'd be happy to talk to you. Again, some of this is available right now. Some of this is purchased functionality that you have to subscribe to, but would be love to chat with you about it if there's interest.